Welcome back, everybody, to WGL. We're trying to get ready for our last match of the day, which is Strike versus Wreck Havoc. I believe we're trying to get them onto the face-off. I think we're trying to get them to the face-off.
I think so. I don't know. I think I hear them. Do we have them ready? Oh, not quite ready yet. So just 1 second, and they'll be ready for their face-off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about these two teams. Maybe you can pull their bios up instead and get ready to discuss maybe their rosters before we go into the actual game discussion. But we've had a lot of fun series thus far. Randall, what's your favorite series that you've had?
Today?
That you've been able to watch?
Today, I think I actually kind of liked watching when Ermagerd Carnivern actually lost in their proc push. Because it's not so much that I liked watching them lose, it's the fact that it proved that the strat wasn't perfect and that you can counter that kind of thing and that there is balanced play in World of Tanks. You can't just derp into people and win. You saw that, well, someone over to
I think we have a rebuttal from the president of the Trouble2 fan club.
I have to say, my favorite one was probably the IS-3 played on Himmelsdorf. Who was playing that? Oh, yeah. Trouble was playing on that.
Oh.
He was the MVP easily.
And that hold
That was
down?
definitely the best battle. Rookkill.
You can point out highlights. I just, wanted to point out something a little different. I enjoyed the fact that it was a cool strat that didn't always work. And that's interesting to me because it could have worked. It could have worked.
It could have.
Yeah. If a few things had gone differently, if a few of those lights had gone to different positions, if a few shots had connected, those are the little things that count, and that could have thrown the match one way or another. And I would just, it's nice to see it go that direction.
Definitely could have. So I have to agree, guys. I think that series was really fun. I actually really also enjoyed the Fulcrum game as well. Just seeing their coordination is really something to behold.
Yeah.
Just be able to see that kind of teamwork exist. And that's kind of what we've come to expect at the highest Premier League in North America. Keep in mind, guys, that if you're an amateur team, we do have qualifiers for this league, but we also partner up with different leagues that's going on with Wargaming. For example, the 8-seeded teams was the Major League Championship Series, the top 8 teams from there. And that's how we were able to pull a lot of our top teams that we have now.
Yeah.
So coming up next, we have our 5th match, which is Strike versus Wreck Havoc. We have them ready on the face-off. We can bring it up onto the screen for you right now so you guys can get acquainted with those faces. Those lovely faces. There we go.
Well, one of them's a face.
Well, one of them's a face. Another one is
that's a bat chat. Oh,
That's
webcam just died. That's sad. Well, at least we can hear him, right?
I would assume so. I would
妈的，他妈那个傻逼麦好吵！
Oh, there he is.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hello? And I don't know who we're speaking to either because I can't really see. We're going to try to get this face-off loaded up later as well. Maybe we can get ready to pull up the team bios so we can even talk about maybe their rosters and
Just
stuff.
introduce the teams.
But what do you know about either of these two teams thus far?
I know very little about Strike. They used to be called Strike White May. They've shortened their name to Strike.
Which is much more cool.
That is a very cool name. I think it's based off of one of their team members. And if we actually look at their roster, you'd see it. But I think they're back now. Is that it?
Okay, so I think we finally have our member from Strike connected.
Ah, there he is.
Cool. Is everything good? Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, I can
Sounds
hear.
good, guys.
All right, cool. So the first thing I want to ask to, let's say, Strike. No one knows too much about your team. Can you guys talk a little bit about who you guys are and what kind of background do you guys have in competitive gaming?
Well, first, can you hear me? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I hear you.
Can you hear me? Right. We are a lot of Chinese students and so play the rock tank. We try to make a group to play the tournament. And we like to join the tournament to play.
Okay, cool. And what part of China are you guys from? Even though you guys moved to Canada. From where?
Yeah. I was Chinese, but now I am Canadian now. Because I am immigrant.
All right, cool. Very much. Do you have any questions for Wreck Havoc, Ruko?
Yeah, Wreck Havoc. I know you're ready. You're here. How do you guys feel about fighting Strike today? Do you think you're going to 3-0? Do you think it's going to be 2-3? How do you feel the matches are going to be? Is it close?
You know what, Rookhill? I want to say 3-0, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be pretty close. So it's gonna be hard. I'm not gonna say who's gonna win ahead of time, you know, but it's gonna be hard. I'm very confident in our team. We've been practicing and through a lot, so I want to say 3-0 us.
Very cool, very cool. Do you have any words for your opponents before we do the coin flip?
I just want to say, you know, good luck, have fun. It's gonna be an awesome night.
Very cool.
And Strike, do you have any words for Wreck Havoc as well?
Yeah, good luck, you too.
Thank you.
Matter. How guai. All right, so let's talk. Let's go ahead and go for the coin flip to see who has. Oh, you guys already did it. Okay, so I got word from production that.
But what was the result of that
I
coin
don't know
flip?
the actual result. So who won the coin flip?
Strike White May did.
Okay.
Excuse me, we did, and we elected to choose the side opposed to the map.
Ah, so they deferred.
Okay. All right, so we'll find out in just a second. Thank you very much, and good luck in your matches, gentlemen.
All right, thank you.
Man, the music is so dramatic for Himmelsdorf. I'm expecting Clutch to bust out in the cape and start singing Phantom of the Opera. It's just so magnanimous, which could be reflective or foreshadowing the game on Himmelsdorf. I want to see what's going to happen, especially Strike, who is motioning towards the east side. They are the red team in the bottom half. They did choose this position. Wreck Havoc chose Himmelsdorf. They are the blue team in the north. Greeter, let's go ahead and talk about what's actually panning out relative to
all
what
of them
you
going
spoke
to the east side. As you can see, a very, very big push going up into the hill. What is that? It looks like 4 tanks are moving up there. 3 tier 8s and a single tier 1.
Yep, that is an IS-3, a T-32, and a T-69. We actually, Lustburnt was pushing Borgata 01 up the hill for a little ways before he lost some speed. That's interesting to note that a T-32 doesn't quite go as fast uphill as an IS-3 does with those perfect skills.
It's, well, it's just one of the many pros of the T-32. You always naturally have battle buddies to push you up.
Exactly.
You force teamwork. Sniper Food has been spotted for Strike as they are going to just be very cautious and leave one member of Strike at the tank alley, but so is the same for Wreck Havoc. Wreck Havoc is actually pretty spread out all throughout.
Kazo does get lit here.
Who?
And who is that down there? That is Fish. And he's going to try and do a little bit of reverse angling, but it's not quite perfect here.
And this is going to be kind of a standoff between the IS-3s. Meanwhile, we have Call Me Sarge has been spotted, also the T-69 over on the top of the hill. The T-32 is going to take a nice hold-down spot on the hill, and it's going to be very difficult for Call Me Sarge to loosen that grip that Borgata has over this position.
Yeah, Borgata does have a really great position, and behind him, the T1 is going to move up, and further back is Lustburn and Nasher. Did they get spotted? Did you see if that happened?
They did not get spotted.
Oh, so that could really work out in their favor if the T-69s decide to try and push this hill.
We have a T1 engagement on the hill as the shots have been exchanged. In the end, Knight's Armament will barely be able to take out Smokey.
Guys, that is RNG.
Just
all skill. Not even close. That's when you type it into the chat where both teams can see. Easy, easy. Now, that was a very close engagement, and that T1 can turn out to be the big thorn in the side of Wreck Havoc if Knight's Armament's able to still get some really good spots, especially proxy spots on the hill is very nice.
yes, but you just have to watch out because he has only 3 health. So if Patton, for example, were to spam across the map, there's a chance. There's a chance if he aimed at the right angle, even at all that distance, just one hit, one little hit.
I mean, there's a chance coming down the hill, he might get a little airtime and die as well.
Here we
it's a very big chance. Borgata's gonna charge head first. The shot just ricochets off the turret. Invade just gonna charge immediately, but gets a couple of shots from Lustburn. And now Callus has to kind of rotate in. The T-32 drops. Borgata is out of commission. Call Me Sarge trying to get some shots as well onto Lustburn. Strike not in a good start as they lose 2 of their tier 8s and the Knight's Armament.
They backed down the hill to ram him. That was actually a pretty smart move on their part. They didn't waste any shells in the T1. They made sure to focus on the correct targets, and then they just backed down to get the kill. So that was very well played.
Now White May and Nasher are going to do some recon and try to gather themselves for the hill. Meanwhile, another T1 skirmish might happen over towards the western side of the map. But even then, that's still not as important as the fact that Wreak Havoc still has all 5 of their tier 8s barely scratched. As the person with the least amount of health is Invade, and he still has almost over half his
no,
health.
here it comes. Shots fired, and Call Me Sarge is going to go down to 6, 384, and shots missed as Nasher and White May have fired, I think, let's see, 2 to 3 shots each. They're going to hold their shells. Or Nasher should probably back off right now and reload. White May can sit here, finish off Sarge if he comes back, but at this point it would be wise for Nasher to reload because Sarge still has a battle buddy up there.
And now we see a push from Wreak Havoc, Snipe for Food, and Callus moving down Tank Alley. Fish is trying to hold on as long as he can, but Snipe for Food going to try to use that 110 frontal armor to shove down this lane.
Yep, Foch does have the advantage of being the defender. He does fire and miss. Oh, and a flank shot. Kazo is coming in from his western side. It is, Foch is really in a bad position here. He has to make something happen. His allies need to come back him up because he's going to go down here.
Kazo getting good shots again on Fish. Meanwhile, White May getting really low, but Nash was able to finish off Call Me Sarge. Fish also barely lives. Very good rolls for Strike, but it's not going to matter. A Snipe for Food is going to be able to get... Oh, actually, no. It was Kazo that gets the last hit, but Snipe for Food able to at least be there for moral support. The last couple members remaining from Strike are just a couple of low hit point tanks. The T-69 still clipping. Nasher can't really get there to defend. White May has to defend himself. Invade going for the ram. He is going to suicide, but it's well worth it.
Definitely worth it. Now, Nasher is the only one left alive. Not a chance. And Red Base under attack. Minute 36. Nasher is up on the hill, and, Wreak Havoc knows this.
He's going to push over that telephone pole in his disappointment of his team.
Sad face. Destroy things in your rage, Nasher.
It's definitely one of the more fun things in World of Tanks, as most of the environment is destructible unless it's a giant building or just an incredible obstacle. Nasher going to try to roll down the hill, get as much as he can done, but realistically, with 10 seconds left, and 4 members up from Wreak Havoc, Nasher is sitting on his last legs. Does manage to take out the T1 to buy himself a couple of seconds, but it's not really going to matter. Oh, actually, hold that thought. Nasher does get the shot to delay it. But Wreak Havoc will not be denied as they go up 1-0 on Himmelsdorf.
It was well played. Well played, Wreak Havoc. They definitely did a great job of securing the hill, and they brought 3 versus 2, so, I mean, just numbers right there on the hill.
Welcome to Ruinberg. In the bottom half, we have the red south side team. It is Strike, currently down 0-1, making a big motion towards the western part of the map. In almost mirror-esque fashion, the blue team in the north, Wreak Havoc, will be making a move to the Delta Village. Is Ruinberg based off a real city?
I have no idea. I just always assumed it was a very simply named, Ruinberg, and Berg just being, I don't know, town or city or...
German.
Yeah. So I thought it was just Ruined City, and that was it.
Well, that would definitely be a very appropriate term.
Indeed. But let's look at the tank lineup. I actually noticed that there's an all autoloader team for Wreak Havoc. They brought 1390, 2 5100s, and 2 T69s. Yeah. So they're looking to burst down whoever shows up. Whereas Strike White May's got 2 IS3s.
They want to play in the west.
Yeah, and they've got 2 C69s and a 5100. So I'm really wondering how this pans out, because IS3 is a great alpha, and it will work in the favor of Strike if they can get first shots off, if they get some really nice early damage out of those IS3s.
Yeah, and it works very well if they're able to fight in that quadrant of the map. But if Wreak Havoc already kind of gets a strong indication. They went to Delta Village, nobody is there. They have is it Invade? No, they have a scout in the corner of the map. I don't know if it's Unknown One or Smokey. But they have someone really making sure that K-line is also covered as well. And that just really secures the knowledge. Okay, Strike's got to be in the western part of the city. It makes sense. A couple of IS-3s, and they're not here.
Yeah, it's the lineup definitely telegraphs that kind of play. You can really tell when you see what your enemy lines up with, what they're going to do. You can't bring IS-3s into the east and play as well as that full autoloader setup. They're faster, more maneuverable, and they have better view range. That's actually an important factor. IS-3s are, sometimes we jokingly say that they're blind because they actually have terrible view range. They, I think it's like, what is it? It is 300 and... I feel terrible blanking on it.
Yeah, I feel terrible for you as well.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like,
Because usually you are the tank encyclopedia. And
Well,
now you don't even know us.
I'm sad that I don't know. It's 310?
Apparently
That's-
you
that
are
doesn't-
the,
no,
the
that's 310.
Tankopedia
It's not.
from
No,
it.
310.
I just say it confidently and make Randall second guess himself.
No, 310, no way.
Mission accomplished.
It
It's
is-
actually 376.42.
You do actually
But
get
it
decimals,
actually
kind
is
of, if you
310.
begin calculating your view range based on bonuses like
Well,
your crew member skill,
We'll have to,
stuff like that.
Even damage is done in decimals. It's just
well,
rounded
actually, I don't actually know the
in the UI.
Yeah, I actually, I don't really know how they round out view range. I'm pretty sure they round down, but
I don't think they round.
you don't think
It's
they round?
it's to the decimal. I'm pretty
Huh?
sure.
Well, there's no way I've ever been able to
It
verify
definitely
that.
seems to be an integer value rather than a decimal value, but we'll see how. I mean, we'll actually check right after this broadcast. We'll get that information you eventually. Meanwhile, that view range or lack thereof hasn't really been the best friends of either Borgata or Lustburn. They're the most furthest advancing down each other's lanes, and yet they can't get the spots. But then again, there is nobody to spot. Wreak Havoc controlling the A row and the E row over on the eastern side. They're kind of in position. Oh, they get a spot on
who
one
is
of the
lit?
T69s.
White May was spotted all the way in the southern region.
Yep,
Of
that's
course,
fairly
Invade
nice.
probably traded the spot as well.
It's a very nice
I
spot
didn't,
to hang out.
I didn't see anyone get lit, so
Oh,
I don't
really?
think White may have spotted anyone.
Okay, so White May was able to be
Sixth sense,
lit.
though.
Although he does know he was lit.
Yes.
He does know that much, so he knows someone's out there. He just is going to peek out and expose
Okay.
his whole tank in order to try and spot them.
Yes.
Not the best move, White May. You don't need to spot like that, buddy.
He was spotted again. Just to,
White May. That's a great way to take free damage. You gotta watch out. If you are gonna try and spot someone, you need to try and expose your tank as little as possible when you do that, because
Ooh.
if just pulling out of the way. Oh, but there's
Nasher.
someone spotted.
We have a tank spotted from Wreak Havoc. Actually, both of those tanks, the T69s, Snipe for Food and Call Me Sarge, have been spotted in the middle of the map. White Mace, or sorry, not White Mace, Strike in general still has not made any motion to push further down the city line. Wreak Havoc kind of taking 3 points of avenue of attack. They have a couple, they got their heavies up in the north, and they have their mediums up in the middle of the part of the map, and now starting to join up with their 1390 with Invade. How does Wreak Havoc go about this?
well,
Yeah,
they're
well-
going for. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
There
ahead.
we go. Actually, Borgata is going to take a hit right now. They're beginning to maneuver so that they can deal some damage and really mess with White May. They've forced Borgata into a really uncomfortable position. I would be uncomfortable if I were here in an IS-3. He's out in the middle of the road. He doesn't know where the rest of Wreak Havoc is, but they are moving in. We've seen, wow, Wreak Havoc is very split up right here. This is the
Yeah.
opportunity for White May to make a push and catch some tanks that are not with the rest of their group.
They are going to get spotted by Unknown One. Invade did take a quick shot. Red base in this meantime is getting capped, which means Strike has to make this fight count. Nasher exposes his backside. Invade's going to be able to add some good shots, but their target is the captain, the leader, Snipe for Food, as he does manage to get into a nice little cubby over in E2. Meanwhile, Invade is still under fire, and he's going to be taken out by Patton. Of all people, the T1 able to step up to the plate. Lustburn, meanwhile, is confronted by 4 members. Fish will try to take out the Call Me Sarge, and he lands the final blow, while Strike is going to try to get the corner kill on Sniper Food, who tucked himself a long time ago. That means that Kazo and Callus are the last 2 tier 8s remaining up against the 3 strong tanks of Strike.
Yeah, it is the time for Strike to push. Those 5100s are reloading, and their reload is so long. So it's really the time for Lastburn in his IS-3 to take advantage of the fact that he does not have a long reload. And here White May with his T69 and the
Kazo's
IS-3,
still
there
clipping,
we go.
and Klazo has been wiped off. Callus, they're going to be cornered and going to be duo team, tag team by White May and Lustburn, and he's not able to do very much, although he did manage to miss one shot that potentially could have killed Lustburn. Good job there for a good screen by White May to try to deflect any shots from Callus. Callus is not able to do anything, and as a result is taken down as Strike now has only 1 member to focus on here from Recap.
That was so well played by White May. He saved the IS-3. Now, that wouldn't have... Now, killing Lost Burnt wouldn't have turned the match around, but what it would have done was it definitely would have made a better showing for Wreak Havoc in that fight. It was just a show of great skill by White May there, blocking in the T-69. He did that and just so expertly. It was very, very impressive.
Prevails as Strike does take battle number 2 and ties up the series. Again, shout out to Mr. Joshua Clutch Gray, who is on the driver dedicated observer camp for the night. Getting a nice little shot of Strike, the red team in the north side of Mines. The first time we've seen Mines all night. Kind of surprised about that. Wreak Havoc is the blue team in the south. Or did we have we seen Mines today yet?
Say again?
Have we seen Mines today yet?
I don't remember. I don't know. We have not seen Mines.
There's been Ruhenberg, Proc, Himmelsdorf, Steps, and like Abbey/Airfield whenever we get the.
We saw Airfield more than we've seen Mines today.
Yeah, that's weird. Mines is a go-to map.
It's
that a lot of people like.
It's so awesome. It's a great map. I love playing on Mines. At least, I guess maybe people aren't as confident with Mines.
And this is one of the most easy to familiarize yourself with too. It's the first map that I started recognizing in World of Tanks.
They could be avoiding it because everyone knows. Well, maybe no one's confident enough that they can beat the other guy. Because if everyone's familiar with Mines, then it's who's the best at Mines. But maybe you're not so sure. Yeah.
Either that, or you have a very specific strategy. Maybe you're just more confident in other maps. Either way, the match has kind of hit a giant halt as Wreak Havoc does have a member on the hill to kind of stall it out. But Greetorp, can you break down what we're seeing right now?
Just incredibly defensive positions over here from Wreak Havoc. They're not really looking to be aggressive. A lot of the positions that these tanks are taking are just to punish any movement, whether it be the western island or the center in mind. So
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh while you're now. It's just that Clutch managed to catch the birds squawking. It was like quack, quack. I don't think birds quack.
They squawk.
Gaming, get it right.
Well, it sounds close enough, maybe. I mean, it's a seagull, right? Yeah, whatever.
I still hear it. Does anyone else hear it?
No, it's not in my ear. Poor you. I don't hear anything.
Okay,
I hear the rumbling of tank engines.
That's also definitely something to pay attention to as well. Lighthouse is pretty high up. Be very cool if you can get a tank up there, but I don't think that'll ever be possible.
You can put a tank just below the lighthouse. There's a nice little bush, a raised position. If you drive fast enough or push somebody, you can get up there.
In fact, you can get to a lot of cool spots on Mines if you push your buddies. We can see a little bit more of that maybe in the later stages of the game. Meanwhile, if you can get a good review.
Sorry, Borgata is spotted and takes a hit from Smokey. 2 hits from Smokey, who is over in H1. A very common position that I've seen. Actually, I want to talk about the strat Wreak Havoc has set up here. I recognize this from Clan Wars.
Okay.
This is the same lineup that we used on Mines when I was in Havoc. This is a version without 15 tanks. With 15 tanks, you would do this kind of layout. Oh, man.
Knight's Armament tried to do something to invade, but was not able to, but he's got the important spot. Invade, getting nice shots on White May, and this is a lot of damage. White May, disorganized, runs into his teammate Fish and was not able to execute, and as a result, Fish is not able to get into position to assist Nasher. Invade will get away, and Unknown One will finish the kill. Huge mistake for Strike.
Yes, that was
massive mistake.
Yeah, that spotting was so huge, and the positions, like I was talking about, that I was used to Wreak Havoc using in Clan Wars, those positions have amazing cover on the hill and on the west side of the map. This is totally designed to counter any pushes from both the hill and from the west side. The east side is considered completely a null strategy. Why would you ever go east? So even though they are probably still prepared for that kind of push. Now, though, we have Fush is up on the hill. He actually has gotten up there during the reloads of the 69s. Calmy Sarge has actually moved up to replace Invade under the hill, where Lustburnt is now trapped. He is trapped behind what I would call the Rock of Death. It's where tanks go to die.
Very ominous name.
Oh yeah, it's just where tanks go to die. And here we go. Invade has actually come around for an awesome flank.
Yep,
Calmy Sarge and Khalees should be moving up right now. Sarge forward.
gonna pin Lustburn into a tough position. Bargata is able to finish off Invade, but Strike has lost 5 of their members in total. Lustburn's also going to drop. Borgata's the last remaining member. The AMX-30 is not going to be able to stand up, at least even to this T69 Unknown One. Should be able to finish it off as we have game number 3 going in favor of Wreck Havoc in dominating fashion. My goodness, it was only the 1390 Invade that dropped, but that was after Invade already made a huge play to take out 2 members of Strike on the hill. Couldn't have said it any better myself, Commander. In the bottom half of ENTS, we have the blue team, Wreck Havoc, currently up 2-1 and already motioning over towards the western blocks. We have Wreck Havoc, and in the top, we have the red team, Strike, currently down 1-2, but we've seen good play. We've also seen a little bit of miscommunication. We also see an initial spot on Fish, who is in the IS-3, and he will take out T1, which is played by Singh for this round.
Oh, where was that? I totally missed where Singh got taken down.
It was over in F5, right
F5.
there. F5-ish, like
Oh,
maybe
okay.
G5.
I see. Okay.
So what happens, we see the normal hold down spot in around D4, D5-ish, and then Fish was rather able to get the good spot and shot him down.
Oh, that's reckless play from a T1. You can't do that when you're a T1 player.
To
because
cross that openly, like that far back instead of going wide around, is it just like you said, it's very risky, a little bit careless.
Yeah, I definitely careless. It's just you have to pay attention when you're a T1 to that kind of stuff. You're one hit, and that's it. I mean, you mean so much to your team even though you're 1 point, because your vision, you are cap pressure, you are an extra tank to take a hit at a crucial time. Not early on from an IS-3 whose shell it means nothing. If he'd missed the shell, it would have meant nothing. If he hit, that's actually a huge gain for Strike White May at this point. Wreck Havoc only has a tier 1 left. Is that on the east side of the map, or
yes,
where
it is over on the east side, over by J0. I'm going to throw it over to Kreetorp to get a better view of the mini map and to explain what's going on over here.
You know, it's really unfortunate. In this position, I mean, Strike can easily just send 2 tier 1s to the west side and use it as basically the biggest trigger ever, right? If it's either 2 main situations. You kill the T1, 2-on-1, or you see a tier 8, and that's going to be a trigger to actually attack in the west side. Very clear options, I think, for Strike. Let's see if they actually utilize that. Remember, just looking at the lineups. 110. 2 AMX 5100s, KV5 and a T69, followed by 1 T1 over on the side of Wreck Havoc. On the other side, we have a 110, 2 IS3s, 2 T69s, and a T1. So very, very different lineups. Rick, I'll defer to you.
Yeah, so a KV5 choice, that is a great damage-soaking tank. I mean, he has a huge pool of health to draw from. If we take a look at where he is right now on the map, guys, I want to see, I believe I saw him reverse angling a second ago there. In his KV5, he's going to be the one we depend on to lead the charge. So he is the tank that we want to see lead the charge in a fight. He wants to soak a bunch of damage, potentially bounce a number of shells, and with that, you can really turn the fight in favor of Wreck Havoc. That's the point of this KV5. Unknown One's playing it, then you have to depend, as Unknown One, on Invade and Call Me Sarge to follow up. Now, I'd expect Call Me Sarge and Invade to be close by to this KV5.
I'm really sad that the KV5, you can't buy it anymore.
Well,
why did Wargaming take it off?
it's just one
I
of those
wasn't
things.
around
You just kind of remove it. It didn't get too popular like the Type 59 did. It's
Oh.
just they remove it from the store.
But I want it.
Yeah,
It seems like a good credit money.
well,
making machine.
now they give it out for certain events. I mean, if you win some events, you can get a KV5. Some tournaments they give them out, and there may be codes floating around. I'm not sure
That's
that
right.
could get you a KV5.
There are campaigns still going on, by the way. If you want to, you definitely need to sign up with your clan. Go to worldtanks.com for all information.
Yeah.
Also, while you're at it, this weekend is Hit the Lights. We want to encourage everybody to play some light tanks as well. I recently bought a T50-2, and then a week later, they put it on 50% discount. So I am obviously very sad for my 360,000 credits.
Well, at least it's not a tier 10, you know?
Yeah, where it definitely was not a moment where I was very happy with my purchase timing. But I encourage you guys to do it because you get 50% credit bonus while playing some of those tanks. You can look again all the information at worldtanks.com.
So interesting development here. We actually see Borgata is moving up the 7 line, and I'm seeing some pinging go out, directing, I'm pretty sure one of the tier 1s to begin running down the 8 line into the, what I would call the lumberyard. And over there, I believe they're just trying to get some nice control on the eastern side of the map. It's actually a very precarious position for Strike White May to be in because they're actually splitting their forces, and it's going to be hard for them to react to a push. If Wreak Havoc picks up on the fact that Strike is split up like this, it will mean a push, and it will mean that the fight will probably go in favor of Wreak Havoc at that point.
But we also have to keep in mind that with Wreak Havoc, they have their KV5. It's not too mobile, so if they stay defensive this whole time, yes, I completely agree they can isolate and just go for a cap right now. But if they stay defensive this whole time like they did last game, they can be in a world of hurt because that KV5, it doesn't put out a lot of damage. It's obviously not an auto loader. It does soak up a lot, but you're able to come through the behind and really start shelling out damage on the auto loaders, the T69s, the AMX 5100s. And bypassing that KV5 without taking any damage is going to be one of the most important things to just dissect this this composition.
Yeah, that is the whole argument behind bringing in KV5. It's got so much damage. It doesn't do the best, it doesn't hit as hard as other tanks, but it does really, really soak so much, which allows it to still put out great damage. So
yeah,
it's a great choice for tank, and it belongs in this kind of lineup, especially on Ensk. Its mobility is certainly its weakness, and it does have one huge, R2-D2 unit up there in the front,
Yep,
which is...
so you can pick it off and get some easy damage.
Yeah, but that poor Radio Man. All you do is kill a Radio Man when you do that. So it's just... The curse of the Radio Man is to die being the weak point all the time. Poor little guy. Although...
Fun fact also, the KV5 has 2 loaders, so there's 2 chances of you to have an insanely long reload. Actually 3 if you get ammo rack as well. But of course we will see more of that come into play. Now Wreak Havoc, they're more defensive. They don't have to necessarily do anything. One guy does get spotted. It's the T69 Callus over by the flag. But again, Wreak Havoc's up 2-1, so why need to press the issue? This is Battle 4, and if they force a draw, then at worst they can just draw or win.
Yeah. So it's definitely advantage to Wreak Havoc right now. Where did Tevix run off to? I believe I remember seeing him in the east side of the match. Where has he run off to?
He's rotated over to G4, and he's just trying to poke out to see if anybody was coming in through the E line, but instead it's not the case at all. Wreak Havoc now starting to push a little bit more aggressively towards their opponent's base ever so slightly. White May and Nasher are starting to move up there. We'll see. Well, still, they're being very cautious about it, and it's coming out to the last quarter of the match, and pretty soon Strike's going to have to do something.
Yep. Although, something to point out that does worry me. I see Lustburn. He doesn't have any camo on his tank, which indicates to me it might have been a rushed pick of a tank, and
then
he might
didn't set up everything.
He didn't set up everything perfectly.
These are tournament accounts. They have access to pretty much everything.
Everything they want. If it can be put on a tank, they can put it on. And camo, when you buy it with gold or silver for a temporary amount of time, gold is permanent. It does give you a little boost. Now, it's only a difference in 1 or 2 meters of spotting, but 1 or 2 meters
anything
could
helps.
be, everything helps. And there's Tevix getting spotted.
Does manage to get around the corner just before Lustburn is able to aim. That would have been another nice way just to, at least lessen any threat of a counter cap.
That would have been huge. You could have, as Strike White May, with that T1 kill, you could have thrown your own 2 T1s on cap, protected them, and then probably won out with a cap rush. Oh, blue base is under attack.
Nasher is in position to continue to start the countdown. 1 minute and 30 seconds can be accelerated. Borgata taking lots of shots on the side. Again, it's not how to use a 110. Nasher getting shot and picked apart from below the cart. And he is now down to 71. He will drop. That is not how Strike wanted to start the entire skirmish. Sniper Food trying to shield a lot of his fellow clanmates from Fish, but he's going to be still a big, tall order for Strike to be able to do anything in this position.
Yeah, Fush is doing a fantastic job right here in his IS-3. He is proxy spotting Invade. They will not get they will not go dark, and they will not be able to get out of that position. They are trapped.
But Unknown One still trying to draw attention away from what's going on over in G4. Fish still getting the proxy spot. White May and Borgata is going to commit to it, but the 110 has been tracked, and he's going to get shot from behind. The KV5 wants to finish it off, but Call Me Sergeant Invade, their time is limited as well. Fish and White May will try to finish it off, as Call Me Sergeant is the last member from Wreck Havoc over in this region of the map. Just like that, 4 members down from Wreak Havoc. Strike still has 5 members alive.
That was, oh my gosh, so poorly handled, I have to say, by Wreak Havoc. They had every advantage with defensive positions. They have some great keyhole positions that they did not take advantage of, and even by getting that early lead with Nasher, they still were not able to put out enough damage.
No, another exchange as well. Unknown One cannot drop here, but unfortunately that won't be in his control as well. Ooh, missed shot there.
White May actually
White May
bounced. He could not, he hit track.
Not enough
and
penetration. T69 falling short once again throughout this night. Regardless, the T1 has been initiating the cap, and it will not matter. Tier 8-point advantage for Strike White May, as they will take battle number 4 and send it to deciding ace match. Torpez graciously reminded me that Proc and Steps, as well as Airfield, has not been played yet, so those would be the 3 maps we go until all 8 maps has been exhausted. In that case, we say go home, guys. It's a draw. Welcome to Abby. Let's go ahead and break down the tank composition. Greetor, would you do the honors?
AMX 5100, 3 T69s, AMX 1390, and 2 Tier 1s over on Wreak Havoc. The other side, we have 3 AMX 5100s, 2 T69s, and 2 T1 Cunninghams for Strike. So obviously all auto-loader lineups for both teams.
Of course. Again, all auto-loaders, but we've got Strike deciding that they want another 5100 instead of Wreak Havoc saying, let's go 3 T69s. But I don't know. I feel like I like a 5100 right now more than I like a T69.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a little bit depending on results. Because if the T69s work out, then we can't really talk bad about the T69. They performed well.
Played well. I mean, against this kind of armor lineup where you have almost no real armor.
Might still work in your benefit.
Yeah, it works just fine for when you have little armor, but when you're up against high armor tanks like the IS-3 and the KV5, T69 is I'm feeling less confident about it. Oh, first blood goes to Kazo here on Lustburn.
Another shot does land on Lustburn. And that's free damage, as well as a couple baited shots. And on autoloaders, that means the world to a lot of these players. Again, Lustburn not putting any camo on his T69. Although, again, it's pretty negligible with this kind of brawl on Abby.
Yeah. It probably won't come into play for this match, but if it were something more open or maybe a slower play, we'd maybe see that. But this is very similar to what we've seen in all of our Abby maps. I mean, Kazor is the only ones who haven't played the west side against the other team playing the west side. I mean, they're both meeting high road and low road here and deciding what's going to happen. This is probably the first one that's actually gone quite so slowly.
Yeah, usually both teams kind of throw themselves amok into F2 and play King of the Hill free-for-all style, it seems like, at times. But now we've kind of hit a standstill where Fish, Nasher, and White May holding the front line, just making sure that if Invade were to poke out, he would be instantly shot to death. Not necessarily because they all shoot once, but in the sense they would light him up and try to eliminate him immediately.
You'd be tracked out. You'd have to use your kit. The likeliness of being tracked again. Hey.
Little pokes from the middle of the map by one of the T1s. I believe that's Tevins. So it's still going to just be annoying. Wreak Havoc still having their T1s advance slowly, and they can kind of pressure. If there's 2 T1s versus the 1 back for Strike at base, then they can initiate a cap and kind of put Wreak Havoc in a position where put Strike in a position where they have to kind of make a play.
Oh, Knight's armament is moving up, and he's going to discover, I think, that Wreak Havoc is entirely on the high road, yet he's going to get pretty far back here, and no one is waiting for him. This is a huge oversight by Wreak Havoc. If Knight's armament can get into the backfield, he could spot, make a nice distraction, but here's the fight's already starting.
A couple shots land on Singh and Kazo, so the free damage has been returned. Nasher taking big hits. He's also tracked. He needs to kind of burn his kit immediately, and he does. now Strike will have to advance forward. They use the dead body. Oh, but White May does get eliminated immediately, and Wreck Havoc is in a good position. Borgata is going to try to capitalize by moving forward and taking out Singh. Call Me Sarge is also extremely weak, but Wreck Havoc will try to rearrange to protect their Sergeant. It is not enough. 3 members remain each of tier 8 or higher. All members have been damaged. Callus is really weak, and now that awkward moment where you're trying to reload really fast to keep shooting.
Yep. Borgata and Foch, if they are reloading, I think we're going to see them, their shells should come up 640.
Knight's Armament is being as annoying as possible. Castle trying to ram him down, but Knight's Armament is being the X factor, trying to distract. Lustbirds gets the kill on Callus that might turn the tides of the battle. Again, Knight's Armament adding damage from behind as Lustbird is able to finish off with a double kill. Kazo, the last remaining tier 8, is alive. This is going to start initiating a cap. 35 seconds on the clock. Someone from Strike has to do something to go back because they are getting capped out unless Kazo can stall for enough time. He does manage to finish off Knight's Armament. Is Wreck Havoc really going to do this? 23 seconds on the clock.
Borgata is on the way back. He is, I'd say, 20 seconds out. He will not have enough time, I predict, to get back and then stop cap. It will be so tight. No, he's not going to have it. He does not have it. There's no way Borgata has this.
Oh no, all of a sudden a battle that went perfectly for Strike may have been rescued by Kazo stalling as 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second on the clock. Wreck Havoc will capture Strike space in what a comeback of a scenario of all places on Abby. The 2 T1s being the heroes for Wreck Havoc, securing the series win 3-2. I'm riled up. Fellas, talk to me about something. Greetor, what'd you think about that?
I got this. T1s, man.
Holy moly, man. That is incredible. Obviously, the T1s were so gigantic in this battle. Not only the T1 over on Strike's side, helping out with a lot of damage and also just being annoying in the back there, doing damage against those AMX 5100s and, of course, the AMX 1390. But, man, oh, man, getting those T1s into flag cap, being able to stay alive with, I believe, 1 hit point left, guys. 1 hit point left.
Really?
That's all he had left.
I remember one of them was just about to die.
Yeah, 1 hit point. That's RNG, guys. If that 1 hit point goes through,
it's half the time
it's Strike's win. It's Strike's win,
Strike
definitely.
Welcome back to WGLNA. The conclusion of the day is here. Let's go ahead and wrap up what we witnessed throughout the past 5.5 hours of broadcast. We had match number 1, Simplistic versus Nerve. Nerve won 3-0. Then we moved on to an exciting best of 5 where Ermagerd Kurnovern was able to defeat Cunningham's 3-2. Then we had Fulcrum able to beat Bear Huggers 3-1. Simple Tankers took the series versus Total Police 3-1. And then Wreak Havoc in exhilarating fashion was able to take the series 3-2 and Strike. Definitely would recommend going back and watching it if you missed it, as the exciting was definitely a photo finish.
Yes, Abby is definitely that match this evening. That's my number 1. I was saying earlier when Ermagerd lost, that was my number 1. No. Abby, those T1s, that was clutch play.
I guess that answers my question to you. I was going to ask you what was your favorite play of the day. Greetor, was that also your favorite series?
Undoubtedly. It was just the most exciting, and it really showed you some never give up, never surrender type of mentality. So, really cool stuff.
An improbable comeback indeed. I actually didn't even know what I was saying at the end because I was just like, that's not supposed to happen.
So
and I was just
I'll
like, cool.
Now, I will say one thing, just strategically at the end. It does show you that if you do have a T1 Cunningham against T1 Cunningham fights, save that until the very end. You want to stop the cap rather than just trading out and hoping that you kill your opponent. But
I mean, that could have done anything. If he stalled and was able to reset the cap maybe a couple of times, that could have bought Precious a few seconds. Even then, it was still close because I don't know if Strike was close enough to reset the cap. Borgata was still really far.
Well, the T1 that ended up losing the fight near cap could have been the guy that hid late in wait.
Yeah,
I think that's what Andrew's talking
about.
about.
There is a little spot in the back of Abby over by the K line where you can kind of there's basically no one that can kind of climb in without exposing themselves completely.
But I assume that match was also your favorite of the evening?
Well, I actually really liked the ending to Ermagerd Kurnovern. And I really liked how everything panned out as well with the 3-2 series. But I did enjoy game number 5 as well. Both will definitely make the backtrack for tomorrow.
Cool.
Tomorrow. Thank you,
Timur,
Ermagerd.
Ermagerd, Timur.
Let's also talk about the bot leaderboard. We've had chat interact with us all night on who they thought would win, so we're going to show you guys currently who's in the lead. Foster Kid at 300, very well done. Marbaka at number 2 at 280, and then we have the Whiskey Dodd. I hope he didn't bet against himself. And Son of Hale, both at 3rd and 4th. And guys, if you're wondering how to do this, we have an automated chatbot that reacts based off your betting. It's just simple points. There's no actual currency or something they need to put in. It's just that everyone starts off at 10 points, and you bet as many points as you want on who you think will win on the series. And after the results happen, you get those points 1-to-1 in return. All right, so we also promised a gold giveaway. Clutch has selected a few people to be the lucky winners of 2,000 gold and a week of premium. So let's go ahead and pull up and see who our winner is. It goes to Charlie Ayers. It says, at WGLNA. Well, I hope someone picks up that phone because I freaking called it. Good win for Simple Tankers. Retweeted by Ticker Tammy. All right, so congratulations on that prediction. For your chance to win gold as well, keep submitting your pictures, questions, and comments at facebook.com/WGLNA or at twitter.com/WGLNA. So that wraps up the gold giveaway. Congratulations, Charlie, again. But you do have an opportunity to win gold tomorrow as well. We have lots of cool stuff that's going to be going on tomorrow night, including a list of 5 more matches. We're just about halfway through the week, and we have Saturday and Sunday broadcasts to go. And I'm waiting for the tomorrow graphic to pull up so we can see the matches. Randall, what can we expect tomorrow?
All right, so tomorrow our first match is going to be Simp versus Strike, followed by River of Blood versus Scurry Hard, Mop 4 versus Wreak Havoc, Simplistic versus Cunningham's, and Refuse to Die versus Cazadores.
I like Refuse to Die versus Cazadores.
Oh.
Both very aggressive in their own regard.
I would like to see that one. I'm also looking forward to River of Blood versus Scurry Hard.
That's right.
Yes.
River of Blood, also a very aggressive team. And of course, there's a lot of opportunities for people to make up, like Simplistic obviously lost pretty poorly today. Shrike barely losing out. Maybe they can get some revenge, but that's the thing. This is 3 weeks of play. Everybody gets to play the people in their division once before the finals, and then we take the top teams to Las Vegas, Nevada. We'll talk about that in a second. Real quick, before we want to remind you guys to keep connected to us throughout social media, twitter.com/WGLNA, facebook.com/WGLNA, and of course, everything, all our VODs, all of our upcoming news, our tournaments, our brackets, everything. The finals information can be found at WGLNA.com. Pretty simple, right?
Yeah. It's pretty easy to find. It's a nice looking site, I'd say so for myself.
And of course, this is all for our finals. Randall, what can we really expect coming up to our finals?
I don't really know, man. It's like
This is just the league. We have a lot of cool stuff going on in the finals.
And actually, we have a really cool video, I think,
Yeah.
for this showing right now. I am anticipating this so much. I can't wait for this. It is. I have to keep myself calm.
You have to keep yourself.
Yeah.
Rando can't wait to go back to Las Vegas. It's going to be at Treasure Island, $100,000 on the line on August 17th and 18th. Make sure to show up there, guys, because it's going to be one to remember, and we're going to put on quite a show, and I can't wait to see the top teams duke it out for a lot of money. And this is just the start. It's season 1, so we can expect lots of cool things happening here at WGLNA. So we're done here. We want to thank our sponsors, the people that made it happen. Thank you to Logitech, the people that make great pieces of peripherals like a mice and keyboard, as well as Alienware. They do great computers. Check them out. And Kingston, who does a lot of great things like memory as well as SSDs. Check those guys all out. But of course, Azo monitors, who are now available on Amazon.com. We use Azo to look at those games. Without them, this broadcast would not be possible.
Yep. I think it looks pretty crisp. I like it.
I like it as well. Randall, any final words before we send people off?
No. Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Greetorp, any final words before we send people off?
No bias.
The president has spoken. From the studios here in Hero Level Productions and North America Star League, Wargaming.net League North America has presented you the Wargaming.net League of North America. We're done. I don't even know what I'm saying. Peace out. See you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. PST.